So you just got a cow. You've never ever had one before, but you have land and you figured that, well, in today's day and age, owning a cow might be a valuable and maybe even the most valuable resource for your family and your farm. You can get milk and dairy products, including ice cream. You can have from that cow a source of beef for your table, hamburger, steaks, ribs, briskets, roasts, and steaks. In addition, she's going to create compost, an amazing additive to your garden soil. She's also going to help manage your pastures, and she can even provide some income, as you can sell that beef, milk, and even calves. But what are some of the things that you need to know about our bovine friends first, besides how to speak cow? Moo moo. Moo. Hi there, and welcome back to Our Wyoming Life. I love episodes like this because they always remind me of where we came from. Not the collective we, but me, myself. I wasn't raised on a ranch or a farm. I'm a fifth generation nothing. My family came over from Scotland or England or Wales, and they settled in Michigan. Eventually, we ended up in the West, and after marrying Erin, a rancher's stepdaughter, and her stepdad needing help on the ranch, I landed here. Erin wasn't a rancher either. Her mom married Gilbert while she was in college. And so by the time that we came to the ranch, we were both green as green can be. That was a chicken apparently having a fight with something. We knew nothing. I knew the difference between a cow and a bull, but I doubt I could have told you exactly what a steer was or even a heifer, let alone a free martin or a stag or a bull, a yearling, a springer, pulled, bummer, slick. It was all Greek to me. But somewhere along the line, I had to learn it all. After being here on the ranch for about a year, both Erin and I decided this is where we wanted to be. We gave up on our corporate jobs entirely and settled in what we hoped we could build to be a life for our family for generations to come. That's a pig. Gilbert passed away, and that learning curve was greatly accelerated by that fact. This book right here, Raising Beef Cattle for Dummies by Nikki and Scott Royer, is one that I recommend for any beef cattle producer. While the title might make you chuckle, it's what kept me on the ranch for years. I knew I could always go back to it, and I still do today. But this episode isn't about that book. While it's the Dummy's Guide, today we're going to be looking at kind of the newbie's guide and 10 things that'll put you on the path to be a successful cattleman, cattlewoman, or cattle person. Excuse me, ladies, do you identify as he, she, it? Hey, what? Is it something I said? Number 10, all cows produce milk, but not all cows are milk cows. While a study showed that 7% of Americans think that chocolate milk comes from brown cows, by the way, that's 17.3 million people, and most of them are allowed to drive cars and vote, not all cows are milk cows. Beef cattle and dairy cattle are both cows, but they're different breeds of cows, and farmers care for them differently. Dairy cattle produce milk. They're bred, they have their calf, and then they make milk. That milk, instead of going to their calves, goes to us. Their calves are separated from them, and the girls sometimes go on to become dairy cattle themselves. And the boys, well, they have a different fate and are normally sold, raised for slaughter, for beef. Then we have beef cattle. Cows, the breeding herd, are much like dairy cattle. Their job is to have a calf. Instead of taking that calf away and harvesting her milk, we can raise that calf with her mom for up to 8 months. When it's big enough, it's weaned and taken from its mom. Girls may be sold to replace older cows in the breeding herds, and males can be sold, raised, and slaughtered for beef. While similar approaches, the product is extremely different, as are the methods. Number 9, if you want to keep doing this, you're going to need a bull, or a way to get what he has to offer. You'd be surprised how many times I'm asked if you need a bull. Technically, you don't. You can buy bull semen online or even locally, and a vet can impregnate your cow with it. It's not always successful, and it can take a few tries. In fact, If you have a decent-sized herd, most ranchers will have a cleanup bull whose job is to take care of any cows the vet may not have been successful with. For me, I like the natural method. The bulls do the work for me, and it's exactly what they were meant to do. Who knows? They might even have fun doing it. So the answer is yes, you need a bull or a straw. Number 8, cows eat a lot. A cow can weigh over 1,500 pounds, a bull almost twice that, and a cow needs to eat 2 to 3% of their body weight per day. A 1,500-pound cow will then eat between 30 to 45 pounds per day. A bull, up to 60 pounds. Be prepared to make sure they have enough to eat every day of the year. This includes knowing exactly how much feed your pastures can produce. If they can't produce enough, then you're going to have to supplement. In the winter, you may end up having to feed all of what they need every single day. You may have to put the time into making that hay in the summer, or you may have to buy it. Either way, you're going to end up paying for it. It's okay. The cows will thank you every single day, or they won't. Number 7, cows also drink a lot. Every animal needs water. Cows are no exception. Water requirements are going to differ based on the weight of your cow, her stage of production, and the temperature. Daily water intake will vary from 2 to 60 gallons per day. A rule of thumb is 1 gallon of water for every 100 pounds during cold weather and 2 gallons per every 100 in hot weather. If she's lactating, double it. So a 1,500-pound cow could need 60 gallons of water per day, or enough to fill 1.5 standard household bathtubs. You also need to make sure that water is clean, so bathe in it after they drink it. Number 6, where should a cow live? Buffalo grazed the prairie for thousands of years. In fact, I've never heard one complain. But leave a cow out in the cold and she might just let you know about it. A cow's living conditions differ greatly depending on where you are. Dairy cattle might have more of a posh lifestyle than beef cows, but it's not like either one has YouTube or even Netflix. The big thing for cows is that they have access to some sort of shelter, and it doesn't have to be a building. A windbreak can work, even contours in the land can protect them from the elements. But the best protection is a caregiver that knows what they're doing and can move them where they need to be. In addition, a facility to work on your cattle is kind of a must. You'll have sick cattle or a cow that needs your help. Even if it's just a gate that swings against a fence, it will be needed at some point to help her. And a head gate is ideal for treating a cow that can't treat herself. Remember, more people are killed by cows than sharks every single year. Always build for your safety first. Number 5, cows are hot-headed. A cow's normal temperature is 101.7 degrees. This is very important because the first thing you should do when you have a sick cow is take her temperature. Yes, that way. And to do it, you're going to need a big thermometer. You can actually use a small one or a human-sized thermometer, but make sure you tie a string to it. You're better off getting something a little bit more substantial. As for calves, their temperatures can vary between 101 and 103, and a thermometer is needed for them too, just not as big. In fact, if you have only one tool in your medicine kit, this is what you want and need. Number 4, find a good vet. Buy them candy. While finding a vet that makes farm calls is becoming harder and harder, you may need to make contact with a vet that you can get a hold of just in case of an emergency. The same vet you take your dog or your cat to may not be the solution. There are certain vets who specialize in large animals, cows, horses, or even hippopotami. I think that's the plural. Even if you can't get a vet to your farm and you have to take animals to them, having a relationship with them will show them that you are serious about your animal's health. They will be more likely to offer you advice if you show them that you're willing to learn how to do things yourself. And trust me, you're going to end up doing things yourself during an emergency. Number 3, here, cow, let's go. If you have one cow, you can probably teach her to follow you around with a bucket. If you have dairy cows, they'll come right in for milking. As I can imagine, it only offers them a little bit of relief. But if you have cows on pasture that you don't interact with a whole lot, you're going to have stubborn cows. You're going to have to work with those cows and learn how their flight zones work, where you stand to move them forward, how you get them to stop. And it's going to take a lot of time to get good at it, but it's well worth that time invested. Don't expect a cow to follow you for cake or grain. She weighs a lot more than you. And if she doesn't want to go, for whatever the reason is, she's not. Cows are definitely push, don't pull. Number 2, don't fence me in. Have you ever heard the term, good fences make good neighbors? It's so true. In fact, most could probably use some sort of wall. If you have an animal in a fence, at some point it's going to figure out how to get through it, under it, or over it. Remember, fences for cows are only suggestions. Don't count on your neighbor to take care of your fences. Head out and check them each time that you move a cow or animals into a new pasture or rotate them through. Hopefully your neighbor is checking too, and you're doubling up. Heck, you might even meet them on the fence line and have a good chat. But keep that fence up for everybody's sake. And remember, fences are merely a suggestion for cows. Number 1, big round cows and their cows. A cow is pregnant for 285 days, give or take up to 2 weeks. When you're getting close to that time, you have to go and start looking at your cows more and more often. Yes, that end again. You spend a lot of time looking at the rear end of cows. You're looking for the udder to begin to fill. Although it's not a given, you're also looking for some slime. That's not given either. Before calving, cows will actually lose their mucus plug hours or sometimes days before calving. Also, look at your cow to start separating herself off, either in a corral or a pasture. She wants a little bit of privacy, and you aren't going to let her get much. First thing you're going to see is a bag. Now that bag is going to be full of liquid and it'll break. And you're going to have a limited amount of time for her to have that calf after it breaks. And it should only take her about 30 minutes, a little longer if it's her first calf. You're going to want to wait and see. Don't do that. If it's taking longer, it's better to do something. Get her in and help her. Give her too much time on her own and you may end up with a dead calf. One way or another, that calf has to come out. And it's your job to be prepared for all possibilities that can arise during the birthing process. After the calf is born, you're going to want to identify that calf. If you have one cow, that's simple. Here's your calf. But more than that, you may want to think about tagging your calf, or at least giving it a name tag, and documenting it as to who it belongs to, because cows will lose their calves, and you're going to be in charge of reuniting them. Not all cows are good moms, but if you can keep them together, you're better off. If you can't, you're going to end up with a bottle calf. So now you have a calf, and your herd is growing. In a normal situation, that calf will get up and eat from its mom. If the calf is unable to get up in a reasonable amount of time, you're going to have to intervene. That first drink from mom is called colostrum. Mom's first milk is full of nutrients and bacteria, and that calf has to have it to survive. The calf will die if they don't receive colostrum. It's so essential that you make sure that the calf can suck or is bottle-fed colostrum, whether you keep some frozen or however you get it. Once that calf's up and moving and is eaten from mom, well, you can leave them to bond for a little while. Calves are going to sleep, but it's also your job to annoy the hell out of them. Get them up occasionally. Feel free to stick your fingers in their mouths. If it's warm, they're good. Cool or cold, you have a hypothermic calf. Bring it in, warm it up before taking it back out to mom. Calves will stay on their moms in a beef herd for up to 8 months. They are delinquents. You're going to have to monitor them. Don't trust their mom to pay attention or know even where they're at. You're now part of that calf's family, and you have babysitting duty. Those, my friends, are 10 things that you definitely need to know about having a cow right off the bat, but there's tons more things to worry about. Minerals, salt, electrolytes, ringworm, lice, cows fighting, auctions, runny nose, diarrhea, all kinds of other wonderful things that you get to deal with. But for now, you have a better start than I did. And I know that you're going to keep reading and learning. Remember, if you don't know the answer, it's just as important to know where to find it, even if you look like a dummy. Be sure to subscribe and learn more not only about cattle ranching, but also where your food comes from and the families behind it. Hit that subscribe button and the bell so that you get notifications when new videos are released. Head on over to our website, ourwyominglife.com, to find out where else you can find us. But for me, that's it for today. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you next time right here on Our Wyoming Life. Ooh, I just blinded myself. Don't look at the lights, Mike.